In this video, I'm going to give you a quick tip to help you take better photographs of trees and woodlands. When I'm helping people with their woodland photography, undoubtedly the biggest issue that I see is that people shoot too wide. This is in an attempt to include every detail about a scene that they really like, so they're trying to include every little part, or they've maybe found a tree that they really like and they feel that they should or want to include the entire tree. This can often lead to two issues. The first is that when you shoot too wide and include too many things in your photograph, it can often lack purpose and it leads to the viewer's eyes wandering aimlessly around your image, and there can be too many distracting elements. The second issue that it can cause is that if you shoot too wide, often you can include some parts of sky, some bright sky popping through the trees and the woodland, and the viewer's eye can be led to these bright spots, which are often a distraction. It's not always a bad thing to include some sky if you're photographing woodland or trees, but it's definitely something that you need to be mindful of. So my tip to try and help you take better photographs is to try and build your composition around much smaller parts of a scene, or if there's a primary tree which is the main part of your photograph, try and consider photographing much smaller parts of that tree, specific parts, rather than photographing the entire tree itself. So for example, if you're photographing a scene and there's a couple of trees in it and you like the way the trees appear to interact with each other or reach out towards each other, try and build your composition around that area and don't feel you need to include the very outer edges and the very tops of each tree. Try and focus your composition around the parts of the scene that interest you. And if you're photographing a tree, or that's the primary part of your photograph, think about the tree itself. Which parts interest you? Which parts look best? So for example, one side of the tree could look better than the other. Maybe you like the way one side leans over and arcs over an object in the distance. So try and build your composition around that rather than taking in the whole tree. Perhaps the trunk of the tree and its bark has got some really interesting texture and shapes. So focus in on that. And if that's what you're doing, don't feel you need to include the entire trunk. Maybe only half of the trunk, the right hand side or whatever. Other things that I like to do when I'm photographing a tree is if I'm positioning in the center of the image, I don't always need to include the very top of the image. So really think about what you're photographing, which parts of the scene or tree interest you, and try and build your composition around that rather than going too wide and including too much. So here's a few examples to help illustrate this technique. So I hope you enjoyed this quick tip video, and I hope it will help you take better photographs of trees and woodland. If you have enjoyed it, if you found it useful and you're not subscribed to my channel, do consider subscribing. I'll be releasing more of these quick tip videos in the future. And if you're subscribed and hit the notification bell, you'll be notified when I upload those. But as always, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate the time. I hope the video has helped you, and hopefully I'll see you in my next one.